Look for some delays in that area. And in northbound 880 on that Fremont South off-ramp, there was a vehicle ran off the road into a ditch on the shoulder. CHP is on scene. It's not affecting traffic in the main lanes. Your next traffic update is at 12:18 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
We will have some coastal fog this morning around the bay as well. Look for lows in the 50s. Hazy sunshine later on today. After the fog burns off, temperatures ranging from the 60s at the coast to the 70s and 80s around the bay, low to mid-90s inland. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on KCBS.
Synanon was the world's first drug rehab. People called it the miracle on the beach. But soon, people were calling it something else. They were saying it was a violent cult. Listen to The Sunshine Place, a creation and presentation of C13 Originals, a Cadence 13 studio. Executive produced with Susan Downey and Robert Downey Jr. Available for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Tarek Habas. When the family of Habas Law represents your family, we put a whole team of people to work on your case. We cover all the expenses. Our payment is a percentage of the money we need for you. If we weren't good at what we do, Habas Law could not survive. When you've been injured in a traffic accident or in any other way, call Habas Law. The first thing we're going to do is make sure you get some help immediately. We're going to make sure you have what you need. We answer questions and solve problems 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Tarek will take your call. I will take your call. Your case manager will take your call. Every person on your legal team.
KCBS News Time, 12:11. The Air District has issued an air quality advisory for parts of the Bay Area today. KCBS's Margie Schaefer reports the northern part of the day will be most impacted.
This advisory is in effect for wildfire smoke until this afternoon when the wind shifts.
We're expecting northerly winds to bring light smoke down from the Six Rivers Lightning Complex fire up north.
That is Tina Landis with the Bay Area Air Quality Management District. The fire is burning in Humboldt and Trinity counties. Pollution levels are not expected to exceed the national 24-hour standard, so a spare the air alert is not in effect, but people in some areas might smell smoke.
Anywhere in the northern zone, including Napa, Summerville, Festival, Vallejo areas.
If you do smell smoke, that means there's a high degree of particulate matter, and sensitive groups especially are advised to head indoors if temperatures allow. Marty Schaefer, KCBS.
Oaklanders mourning the death of a well-regarded 60-year-old Chinese-American woman gunned down during an attempted robbery. This happened Sunday afternoon in the city's Little Saigon neighborhood. KCBS's Jeffrey Schaub reports that people in the area want months of violence targeting Asian Americans in their community to end.
Lily Xu, beloved dentist and community leader, gunned down while resisting assault and robbery in broad daylight. Not the first or second, but third such fatality in Little Saigon in recent weeks, not to mention many other attacks on Asian Americans here. Evie Sang gave Xu adult ballet lessons.
She was dancing, she was a swan. You know, she was dancing so beautiful. All of a sudden she was gone. So everybody's so angry and shocked.
A visibly shaken Oakland City Council President Nikki Fortunato Bass represents Little Saigon.
I'm speechless, really. I'm angry. I want to stop hate against our Asian community, violence against our Asian community, and create safer streets.
The murder suspect is at large. The city's police chief adamantly says detectives do intend to track him down. In Oakland, Jeffrey Schaub, KCBS.
Called Zeppelin. Bay Area businesses are being officially warned about the ransomware from the FBI. Here's KCBS's Jim Taylor.
Ransomware attacks. Bay Area businesses are being targeted, especially the healthcare industry, have been held up by Zeppelin, demanding ransom payments to stop the attacks.
Zeppelin is one of those variants that has turned into ransomware as a service.
Elvis Chan, FBI special agent in charge, says Zeppelin farms out the dirty work like a franchise, and then what he calls double extortion.
It's a double extortion because A, they're asking you to pay to give you the keys to unlock your data, and then B, they're asking you to pay so that they don't
still leak all of their stolen data all over the internet.
Like any other extortionist or blackmailer, though, you've got no guarantee that they're going to stop doing what they're doing, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He says demands only stop at about 25% of online ransom cases. He recommends visiting a website that puts potential ransomware victims a step ahead. StopRansomware.gov. Jim Taylor, KCBS. Any word yet on a backup quarterback for the 49ers? We'll look into that coming up in about a minute. KCBS News Time, 12:14.
Buy your car completely online or reserve your brand new ride while in transit. Hey, it's John Doe Grant of CGDG. We've got thousands of vehicles to choose from with brand new models arriving daily. You can buy your new or used car from start to finish completely online with our exclusive no-brainer checkout. And yes, you can even reserve your new vehicle while in transit. Enjoy the outstanding offers you'll find right now at CGDG. That's CGDG.
Create the home of your dreams and enjoy the biggest savings during the Living Spaces Labor Day event. The latest styles are waiting, and free next-day shipping brings them to you fast. It's time to refresh your living room, elevate your dining room, make over your bedroom, and bring personality everywhere. Plus, get special financing for 60 months on 8% under good credit. Celebrate the start of a new season only at the Living Spaces Labor Day event.
Living Spaces.
Coming up on KCBS.
And Kathy Novak with prisoners who are coming to terms with the harm they caused.
You didn't kill the person physically, but you killed her soul.
Right now at 12:15, Miami Marlins shut out the Oakland A's 3-0 the last night. Both teams play again today and again tomorrow. We've got more from the sports desk now with Victor Zaragoza.
After a week of joint practices in Minnesota, it allowed the 49ers to evaluate their starters in a controlled environment. So Saturday's preseason game was more about the backups, especially the quarterbacks. Who will backup starter Trey Lance? Quarterback Nate Sudfeld started and went 13 of 17 for 102 yards in the competition with rookie quarterback Brock Purdy. Now Sudfeld led a 14-play, 79-yard drive for a go-ahead touchdown early in the fourth quarter, and the 49ers beat the Vikings 17-7. As far as Brock Purdy, he finished 14 of 23 for 128 yards and had some strong moments, but he dropped an exchange with running back Davis Price at the goal line. Now Coach Shanahan after the game was asked if he knew who would be the backup.
No, there's nothing done yet. I mean, we haven't been given him equal reps or anything, but Brock's done a good job every time he's gotten his opportunity. Nate did some real good things tonight and last week too. But I like both those guys and see how it finishes up.
That was Coach Shanahan with audio courtesy of the San Francisco 49ers. Alfredo Gutierrez. Not a lot of people know that name, but he's a backup offensive tackle who spent last season on the 49ers practice squad. He got into the game late for his very first game action in the NFL and was awarded a game ball by Coach Shanahan. Gutierrez, who was born in Tijuana, Mexico, he was signed to the 49ers last year as part of the League's International Player Pathway Program. Now, Gutierrez, after the game, did say, I was a lot nervous. First time in an NFL stadium. That was awesome. That was a really good feeling. Good for him. 49ers wrap up the preseason on Thursday in Houston. From the sports desk, Victor Zaragoza, KCBS.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right, but many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. And with helpful representatives just say, it's easy to understand why Pi is rated excellent by customers on Trustpilot. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com. These days, one of life's greatest pleasures is being rediscovered. The joy of walking. We're finding our sanity outdoors. Take a hike among the old-growth redwoods at Muir Woods and stand in awe of their majesty. Walk around Angel Island and revel in the stunning views and historic places. In the Bay Area, our walks are world-class and the ideal antidote for these trying times. But to appreciate everything the Bay Area has to offer, you'll need comfortable shoes.
The Walk Shop in Berkeley has assembled a great-looking collection of beautifully designed footwear created to enhance the joys of walking. And the Walk Shop's expert staff will help you find the shoe that's exactly the right fit. For hiking and walking shoes that combine style, craftsmanship, and comfort, discover the Walk Shop, 2120 Vine Street, Berkeley. Footwear for people who love to walk. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on KCBS. We'll get to the 6-day forecast in a moment. First, Carolyn Burns with a look at the roads.
Well, crews are still on the scene of this three-car crash that is in the Vallejo area on eastbound 80, right there by Redwood Parkway. It was blocking all three lanes. They were diverting traffic off at Redwood Parkway. Now they do have the two right lanes open. They're hoping to get the Redwood Parkway on-ramp to eastbound 80 open as soon as possible. They may be running a traffic brake to slow drivers down so they can get this remaining vehicle out of that left-hand lane. So we are still seeing traffic that is backed up, kind of creeping along from before Redwood Parkway. And then in Marin County on northbound 101 right after Spencer, we did have reports of rollover crash, but the good news is so far CHP, well, they haven't been able to find it and there's no backup. And in the South Bay, southbound 280 before Highway 87, a car ran out of gas and is now partially blocking the slow lane. Your next traffic update is at 12:28 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Tuesday is going to bring above-average temperatures to those inland areas once again. Temperatures around the Bay are going to be very close to normal for late August. Upper 60s in San Francisco with mid-70s for Oakland and the East Bay. Up into the mid-80s for high temperatures in San Jose and most of the Santa Clara Valley. The hot spots will be inland of the North Bay with highs in the upper 80s and low 90s, and inland in the East Bay. Widespread readings in the low to mid-90s. It's slightly cooler than today, but still above normal. We return to near-average temperatures on Wednesday, and that continues through the rest of the work week and into the weekend. That means highs in the 60s and 70s around the Bay, with mostly 80s inland, just the very warmest spots, far inland in the East Bay approaching 90. I'm meteorologist Paul Hagan with your KCBS KPIX5 First Alert Forecast. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on KCBS. 12:21 right now, and crime in the Bay Area and around California has attracted national attention in recent months. The recall of San Francisco's district attorney put a spotlight on the debate about how to increase community safety, prevent criminals from reoffending, and protect victims. All this week, we're going to be examining the innovative approach of an East Bay nonprofit. It is called the Ahimsa Collective. Warning, though, references to violence in these stories may be upsetting to some of you. And the first in a series of special reports, KCBS's Kathy Novak takes us on a journey with a group of survivors of crime.
This road leads to a place that most people will never see. Patty O'Reilly has driven hours from Sonoma to share the story of how she lost her husband almost 20 years ago.
In that circle, it's a very deep sharing, and even after 6 months, people really didn't want me to be crying around them anymore.
So she has come to an unlikely spot for support. This is Correctional Training Facility, better known as Soledad State Prison.
I'm Patty. On April 19th of 2004, my husband Danny was hit and killed by a drunk driver.
She's part of the Empathize program, where survivors of crime sit in a circle with people who are serving long prison sentences for committing similar crimes.
This is us. My daughter Emily and I.
Elo Dowd's daughter Emily was also killed by a drunk driver, and for at least an hour each, Elle and Patty share their stories with about 25 incarcerated men hanging on their every word.
It was his 7th DUI. He'd already served 2 5-year terms for felony DUI, which means he probably hurt other people.
I hated him. Thought he should be locked up forever.
The idea is to show these men the real impacts of their actions, including on people they might not have considered, like Patty's children.
She said her daddy had a smooth takeoff to heaven.
She brought a card that one of them made for the man who killed their father.
She says, "Dear Mr. Albertson, today is the 16th of August, and I will be 10 years old on September 1st. I just want to make sure you know that I forgive you.
Patty forgave him too, not for him,